my name is Daniel. Welcome back to my channel, Guilty Feet. Flies in the buttermill, skip to my loo, flies in the butter. I've got no rhythm. And today I thought I would try an original tag. I did one last year, and I thought it was time to do one again. So this is, I'm calling this the skip to my loo tag. And I have a few questions and then a field trip. So first question is, do you, there's a genteel way and a less genteel way to answer this, and I will allow anyone to answer it any way they choose. So the first question is, do you read either in the toilet or in the bath or somewhere in the bathroom? Simple yes or no. So my answer to that question is yes, always have done. Not in the bath because we no longer have a bath, but I never really read in the bath at all, but I read in the toilet and have done since I was a young child, and my father always read in the toilet. There were always things to read in the toilets in our house, or specifically the downstairs. I don't think there was in the upstairs toilet. There wasn't a shelf, but the downstairs toilet there was a shelf, and it had always things like Reader's Digest and little books and pamphlets that were in there, and then I would always bring something in and while away the time. And to this day, still, that's wouldn't occur to me to go to the toilet without bringing a book with me. Sorry if you're squeamish about that. I have to believe that I'm not alone, but I guess we'll find out when if anyone else does this tag. But you could read in the bath. That's, as I say, there's a more genteel version of this, where you might take a book or a newspaper or something with you and read in the bath. I never quite managed it, but I know some people do that. Or audiobooks. In the bath. Yes, so that's the next question: is if you do, what constitutes your reading in this room, whether it's the littlest room or whether it's a bathroom? Do you read newspapers? Do you listen to audiobooks, magazines that you leave in there, periodicals, or do you take whatever your current reading material is, your current book, your current audiobook, and take that with you when you go? The third question for you is to find a it can be as tenuous as you like, but to find a link in literature amongst the things you've read to toilet / bathrooms and to share it with us. And I have a few here to give you some examples. So the first one I've got is What Belongs to You by Garth Greenwell, which is a terrific first novel, and starts with I think it's an unnamed protagonist cruising a public bathroom in Sofia in Bulgaria, where he picks up a young man, and the rest of the story is about their relationship, how it forms, and it's just a fine debut novel. I haven't read Cleanness, I think was his follow-up, and I haven't read that yet, but I will do if I may pick it up one day, because this was great. There's a lot of sort of repressed, held back. It's not love exactly, but there's something beyond the lust and the sexual impulse that is explored here between these men, and there's an imbalance of power. One is a wealthy American abroad in Eastern Europe, and the other is a local, and it's explored sort of very exquisitely and delicately, and there's a fair bit of longing, and I just found this if not exactly sort of sexy, but there is that tension was there throughout, both melancholy and glorious. That's What Belongs to You by Garth Greenwell. I picked up Life of Pi because there's a scene in this where our hero Pi determines whether or not he can find edible sustenance in the droppings of the tiger Richard Parker, with whom he is stranded on a boat in the ocean, and there's a whole explicit description of how he catches one of the tiger's turds and decides whether or not it would provide him sustenance. Going right into it. Now, if you want to get tenuous, we've got Bath. Jane Austen read a lot of books about Bath. She lived in Bath. I think Persuasion, actually, there is a visit to the pump rooms in Bath. So that's that's a very nice way of a nice tenuous link to baths and toilets. And then I picked up, I can't show the cover very much because they've drawn nude person on the front of it. This is my copy of Rabbit Run by John Updike, which has stayed with me. I read this in, I would say, 1988, 89, which is now 30 plus years ago. and there's a very tragic ending. Those of you who know this book, it's a terrific book, and I read the 3 sequels, and then there's a 4th novella that comes after this. So 5 books in all that cover the life of Harry Rabbit Angstrom. But in this first one, there is a terrible, tragic scene involving a bath and a small child right at the end, which at that early stage, I was 19 when I read this, and I did not know that books would do that. It was a gut punch, and stayed with me. And of course, it influences Rabbit's life as each of the sequels jumps forward in time, and his relationship with his wife Janice and the memory of what happened is a key driving factor in this life of Harry Rabbit Angstrom. So recommend that. That's another Bath connection, although a bit of a grim one. Okay, and now for the last part of this tag, I'm going to take you and I'm going to skip to my loo and show you the books that I have in my loo, and I hope you will do the same. So I'm going to pause this and then we'll come back. So this is our guest loo that I'm taking you into, and it's going to get very echoey in here. And these are some of the books we have in here. And for some reason, a lot of these seem to have been gifts. So I've got the second QI book of General Ignorance, which a friend of mine bought me, knowing that it would irritate me, that he was giving me the second one, and I didn't have the first one. So that's in here. I like QI. Then there's 10,000 Years of Art, a book of Emily Dickinson poems, which I bought for myself and haven't looked at and don't know. How to Survive Your Freshman Year. I was given that by the publisher to review, but someone I know here locally, and I don't think I've got around to it. It was when we were having doing the renovations in the apartment. I just got lost there. University Challenge, I think that was from my sister. It's full of joke things that have happened in quiz shows. The GCHQ puzzle book, that was from my mum. How to Poo at Work, I think that was from the same friend who gave me the QI book of General Ignorance. Then we've got a couple of Shots, original Shots Miscellanies, that's the original one. And the one up from the bottom is the Gaming and Idling Miscellany. Accommodating Broccoli in the Cemetery, that was a popular sort of table book at the time. It's about spelling. A book about Art Deco. Are You Telling It to Your Dad? I think it was from my sister. And that's what we have in here. And then this is the kids' big bathroom, so there's a shower behind me, and these are the books that are in here. We have a compilation of Wendy Cope's poetry, then the Nation's Favourite Love Poems. The BBC put out all those different versions of that. The Nation's Favourite Poems, the Nation's Favourite Poems about days of the week or whatever it was, and this is the Nation's Favourite Love Poems. My daughter likes to flick through poetry, and then a book about 1001 movies you have to see before you die. I think my daughter also bought that when she was in Australia and brought that back. So that's a perfect book for sitting and contemplating, and that is Skip to My Loo. So it occurred to me in trying to find people to tag in this that it may end up that I am the only person on BookTube who keeps reading material in the loo. So I call on you, my fellow booktubers, to help me out here and prove that I am not so far from civilization. Brian at Bookish, gorgeous Steve Donoghue, Mark Nash, Shelley Swearingen, Gina Stanya Books, who else? Jim at Jim's Books, Reading and Stuff, Roz at Scally Dandling Around the Books. Please help me out here. Do the Skip to My Loo tag and show us what's in your loos. Take care. Bye.